She didn't believe in God.
What does it matter whether you believe?
I found Mom's diary.
What if she saw something out there?
Told y'all not to come.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to a new episode of Employee Picks. We're doing things a little different this week because we got two new releases and we want to keep it under one video. So it's going to be two horror movies that we both got to watch that are new releases, I guess. I believe The Dark and the Wicked came out a couple months ago, but now we're going to see it on Shudder. It came out on Shudder last week. So to us, it's a new release. And the movie Wrong Turn, which is a reboot. So those are our two movies this week on Employee Picks. Wrong Turn and The Dark and the Wicked.
Absolutely.
And I think we're going to start things off with The Dark and the Wicked.
Yeah, it was it's a supernatural movie, and I thought it was really, really well made. I think that it was filled with a lot of suspense and a lot of eerie factors. The environment made it super eerie, being down on a farm in Texas, I believe. And so it was just, the atmosphere made it very, very spooky, and it just created a nice element to the entire movie.
No, I agree. And this is a movie done by Brian Bertino. He's done The Strangers. He's done another movie called The Monster, I believe, which I haven't seen. I've seen The Strangers. And then there's another one I might be blanking on. But he's very good at suspense. And I'm a big fan of that original Strangers movie. And this has sort of the same flavors, but even better. This comes across like almost an A24 movie.
It does.
And there's a lot of cool, suspenseful, eerie moments. It also reminded me of another film from last year called The Lodge, which I know you've seen. We both really, really like.
Yes, love The Lodge.
And this has a lot of that same sort of spooky, really dark, and twisted atmosphere. Nothing ends good for anybody in this movie. No spoilers, but with a title like The Dark and the Wicked, it lives up to that.
It really does, and I think I'm old enough now to know what usually gets me as far as the scare factors go. Serial killers don't do it for me anymore, but anything supernatural, demonic, devilish, ghoulish type, that always gets me hook, line, and sinker. You know, that's my level of discomfort when I watch a movie.
No, I agree. And it got to me too, because I was sitting there. We were watching the movie together. We were comforting each other.
We were. I was a big spoon, just so you guys know.
No, it worked out perfectly size-wise. But no, I was watching this movie, and I was telling Victoria how it genuinely got me. Like, I was like a little like on the edge of my seat. I was like looking around. It's one of those movies where, like, if you're into it in the right headspace, it'll get to you. And it's because the acting is so good, and when the acting is so good, you believe the characters are in danger.
Right.
And when the characters are in danger, you feel like you are. And it was just like a perfect storm of events, and that's the type of horror I like, is when it's completely balls to the wall, suspenseful, creepy, and some good jump scares.
Really good jump scares. And you know, and my environment was, I was in a basement. I turned off all the lights. I put the LED lights on the back of my TV red. So, you know, red is just, you know, out there, was just popping off. When the entire eeriness of that movie combined with the environment that I was in, I was like, had my feet like not over the recliner because I didn't want somebody to grab my legs and, you know, just scare the shit out of me. So so it was definitely one of those creepy movies environment wise, and I definitely would recommend this to anybody who does have Shudder, or wait for it till it comes out on release. But if you do have Shudder, go watch it, you know, this weekend. You know, it's definitely one of the best creepier horror movies that I've seen, you know, in recent years.
No, right, and I totally agree. I haven't seen a movie in a while that really got to me, probably since, The Lodge.
Right.
So we always get a good horror movie once a year that's just super, super balls to the wall scary. I guess this is a 2020 release because it technically came out then, but it is a Shudder original, so you could watch it right now if you're subscribed to Shudder, and if you aren't, I recommend you do, because if you like horror movies, you'll definitely like Shudder. No, it's great, and I guess we should run down the synopsis real quick. We haven't really mentioned that. But essentially, it's about this brother and sister who are adults now. They return to their hometown farm they grew up on with their parents. Their father is very ill, and they're coming to see him and see if he can make it through. And they're warned by their mother not to come at all. We have no
told you
idea
not to
why.
come.
Yeah. So that's the log line in the movie right there. I don't want to get into spoiler territory or where it goes, but essentially it's about these two people returning home, and then some things are uncovered, and they learn some secrets, and it's really dark. It's really twisted. It kind of has a sick sense of humor to it. Just in terms of how dark it will go and how twisted it will be. It earns the title. Like I said, it's truly dark and wicked.
Yes, it is.
No, I don't have nothing else to say with that. I thought it was great.
As did I. So like I said, we definitely would recommend you guys watching that.
Yeah, so I guess we could go to the next pick.
We can.
What we wouldn't have found if we would have stayed on the trail. The waterfall, the cliff. What is that?
And I believe the next pick is going to be, like we mentioned earlier, it's going to be Wrong Turn. Now, this isn't the Wrong Turn from the early 2000s. It's a reboot. And in my eyes, one of the better reboots for a horror movie. The first one had Eliza Dushku in it. So everybody knows, if you follow horror, you know what Wrong Turn is, right? It's kids get lost in the mountains of Appalachia, and they start going missing, and they start getting killed off one by one. This story is about just about the same premise.
Up to a point.
And I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's the same premise up to a point. But the story, the way it develops, the way you get into these characters, it's very modern. It's very polished, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely more polished than the original movie. I get the sense that the filmmaker and the screenwriter, they wanted to pay homage to the first one, but they just took a little bit and they amped it up a little bit.
Right. So I know a few things about this movie. I personally haven't those movies haven't really piqued my interest. I know there's like 6 or 7 of them.
7.
Yeah, I've only seen
The first 2 for me.
Yeah, I've seen parts of the first. I might have seen the full. I don't remember too much about the first one. I remember Elizabeth in that one. I like her in anything. She's great. Mainly the reason why I remember that first movie.
I like her in anything too.
Yeah, me too. But no, Victoria is a huge fan of these movies, and she mentioned them, that this was coming out, and she's seen all of them, and she was talking about how a lot of horror fans were upset about the way this one was being built and the premise around it. And I was curious because I was like, okay, like if they hate it, then maybe it's good, because horror fans are really hard to please and they're upset about anything.
You guys,
it's the truth. They're like the worst. But so I wanted to see what this was all about. So like my expectations were pretty standard. I saw that this had pretty decent reviews going in, so I was willing to give it a chance. I was shocked. I really had a good time with this. I don't think it's a perfect film, but I think you got to throw logic out the window to some scenes. But for the most part, I think it gives you characters that you do care about in those instances. It feels like, compared to maybe those other films in the series, this was actually trying to do something and be mature and make a grounded modern horror movie. Definitely. And I think it succeeds. Matthew Modine is great in it. He plays the father. We won't explain what he's involved in this, but he's fantastic. I think he's truly good. Our lead is great. They have some, inclusion in this, and I think it's well done. That was one of the negatives that I saw horror fans talking about, that it had too much inclusion, which I think is weird. That, the cast of characters are really well versed. So there's somebody for anybody to root for.
Right, and by inclusion we mean there's a gay couple, there's a black guy, and the lead is Hispanic. That's your inclusion.
Yeah, but that pissed people off.
Wow.
Yeah, it's also the lead girl, her boyfriend. Well, her boy you mentioned is black, so interracial couple.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know how interracial. She's Hispanic and he's black. So.
Was she Hispanic?
Oh, yeah, her last name's Vega. She was in the Warrior Nun, and that's a Spanish TV show in Spain. She's Spanish. She's Spanish. Spanish, Hispanic.
I'm confused.
We're all the same. We're mutts.
But no. So I guess I really enjoyed this, honestly, and I think it had a lot of good kills. I don't want to get too much in the story, like you said. We would kind of give it away if we gave you the hook to it. I feel like that's one of the best parts of the movie.
Right.
The reveal.
I know there's a huge reveal, but I should say that one of the biggest changes is it goes from being a cannibalistic film
Right.
to non-cannibal.
Right. I would
Which
if you're-
it's not giving the movie away. It's just,
No, I would say if you're looking for something similar like this, you would look at
right. Which is why I think it was done really well. Why it gave it a polished look. I mean,
Right.
we're not talking about cannibals out in in Appalachia, which has been done before with Deliverance and The
Yeah.
Wrong Turn and The Hills Have Eyes and all
We've seen that stuff.
We've seen
yeah.
that stuff. So this was a fresh take on the entire storyline that was done for Wrong Turn. The original 7, I guess.
Right. And this is it's crazy. It's written by the same guy who created the franchise. So you have the original writer going, I want to reboot my movies. I don't want them to be a joke. I want them to be like this serious film.
Right.
And it does it. It's a mean horror movie, straight from beginning to end. It doesn't let up. I did think that it was a little long for its own good. It has about like 4 fake out endings.
It
I
does.
counted. Seriously, it does. But I will say, at least the endings are good because there's a lot of really cool moments near the end in the third act, and I did enjoy that. So I will credit that. I wasn't really expecting much from this, but I think it's really well done. And to me, again, it's clear that you can have a joke of a franchise and just reboot yourself. Just make it serious, make it something that's modern and in line with a lot of horror movies that are out today.
Right. We're looking at you, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Or Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Child's Play.
Hey. Don't you be talking bad about Child's Play.
No, I'm just kidding. I like the reboot. But no, I mean, yeah. I mean, it really, you could change things up and still stay true to the log line of what your story is.
Right, absolutely.
So I enjoy this. I hope that more people give it a chance and just watch it on its own instead of, living up to a bunch of movies that were never good in the first place.
Right.
I guess.
You can't hold this movie, the original, on a pedestal when it doesn't even belong on the pedestal. You gotta knock it down and watch the reboot, enjoy it for what it is, which is just a really good, well-directed, well-acted, horror movie.
And I feel like what's so cool about this week's picks is that you could have a double feature just back to back.
That's what I did.
And that's what he did. That's what I did. They're both really fun and they're scary. I feel like watch Dark and the Wicked first because it's really going to mess you up. It's creepy. And then Wrong Turn's more of a...
It's a more lighthearted.
More lighthearted, action-driven, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're both fun times, and it's a good week for horror movies, which I feel like was perfect for this week's segment.
Oh, absolutely. And especially after last week where we watched a couple of new stuff that we really couldn't commit to recommending.
Right.
So it was great to watch something this weekend. We were like, all right, we have to recommend these two because we definitely enjoy these. We definitely think other people would also enjoy these two movies as well.
Right. I think me and you agree. We only want to do this show or this segment of the show only when we both agree that something was truly worth recommending because that's two voices recommending and not just me and then Gabe going, well, I don't like it, or he recommends it and then I don't like it.
Right.
It's both of us in unison going, we both really like this movie or these movies and we think you should watch them. And I think that's the case with the last two movies and then especially here.
Yes.
So I think that'll do it for this week's episode.
Absolutely.
So make sure you guys check those films out. Let us know if you've seen The Dark and the Wicked. Have you seen Wrong Turn?
Have you ever taken a wrong turn down a dark path and led you to something that was really wicked?
Like heroin.
Yes.
I don't know. But let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And
Shibby.
let us know if you want to be on the show. Because we're looking for fluffers. So
We are.
you can fill out those roles. But thank you for watching.
Thank you.